and I call this meeting to order. Madam City Clerks, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Elliott,
Present.
Councilmember Camarena,
Present.
Councilmember Marroquin,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carter.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Would you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? Councilmember Martin is going to lead us.
Hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. I'm going to ask Councilmember Elliott if he would lead us in the invocation.
Would you bow your heads? Father, we praise you and thank you for the many blessings that we have. We often take for granted. We thank you for the stability, the prosperity, the peace, the relative peace that we live in compared to many places in the world. We want to thank you and praise you for these things. We pray for wisdom now, Father, from you and all the things that we do face here and for our community, Father, and that we would be a better place and for our community to be a better community. We pray that in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you to both of you. To our city attorney, do you have any reports on closed session?
No, during closed session, we discussed the drafting of the definitive agreement for the transfer of ECRMC. The details are those in the term sheet, and the remainder, there's no report.
Thank you. Now, public comments. The City Council welcomes your input. At this time, members of the public may address the City Council in any matter not listed on the posted agenda. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no action will be taken on any issue brought forth under public comments. We ask that you please complete a speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Although you are not required to identify yourself, the information on the speaker slip assists the Mayor Pro Tem that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized and also assist the city clerk in preparing the city council meeting minutes. Unless the Mayor Pro Tem extends the time, there is a 3-minute limit for each public presentation. Any information provided on the speaker slip is voluntarily and will be public records. We do have one speaker, Pete Rodriguez.
Good evening, members of the council and the audience. I'd like to announce that I have applied for the open seat for the Centro City Council. For 18 years, I've been on this side making public comments in 2007. I've been involved in attending city council meetings, in the county of Imperial, and with IED, I'm the one that found the ECA over collection. There's a need for service. There's a need for individuals to work together as a team. There's no I in team. It is time to join a team of 4 individuals that were elected by the people. The challenge ahead of us will be challenging, I agree. But as a team, it can be overcome together with unity, with the betterment of our community. I have handed in my application this afternoon, and with the grace of God, it is done. I am pleased with my decision, and I thank you for your time. I will depart because I have another meeting to attend to that's very dear to me, as well as to other members of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete. Okay, now we will move on to the presentations and announcements. We're going to start with our first proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunication Week, which is April the 13th through the 19th.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. Tonight, we recognize the fearless and tireless work of our communications experts, our dispatchers, as we call them, our telecommunicators, as the week-long is recognized. The men and women that hold these positions are really the heroes behind the heroes. They are the front line of help for any one of our members of the community that need either law enforcement, EMS, or fire help. And we have the privilege of housing them at the police department, but they truly are a public asset. They work for not only us, but the fire department, and they do a tremendous job making sure that each and every one of our citizens get the help that they need, whether it's after hours and there's a public works call for a broken water line, whether it's questions about animal control, whether it's a need for an ambulance and medical service, a fire, or police service. These young ladies, and I'll say that they are all young, at least at heart, they do a phenomenal job for our community, and they step up each and every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to answer every call that comes into the center. About over 4,000 calls a month come into our center. Well above that, I'm sure that Heather will probably correct my numbers later on. That's just 911 calls. Then there's business lines and everything else that come in addition to that. So if you have not had an opportunity to visit our communication center, please stop by and see the incredible amount of work that they do. But it's more than just handling calls for service and speaking and interacting with our public, because that's extremely important. They're the first voice that somebody hears in the time of need. But they are also the calm in the storm for our officers. They keep us grounded. They get us the resources we need to make sure that fire personnel has the backup from other agencies during mutual aid requests, and they handle it all. And the load that carries and everything can't be recognized just within 1 week. I know that's what President Clinton signed into effect in 1994, and that's what we're celebrating tonight. But I'm standing here before you tonight to tell you I couldn't be more proud of the young ladies that we have in our communication center. They do a phenomenal job protecting not only our citizens, but our officers and our firefighters as well. So I am going to ask that they come up and join me while you read the proclamation, because it's important for them to be recognized. We are understaffed. We are in the hiring process. I will tell you that we have a very large pool right now, which is wonderful news. But we only have a handful of people here because we have to man the communication center all hours of the day. So can I get Heather and Elizabeth, and if there's anybody else I missed, to come up here and stand with me, please? Oh, come on up, please. Sorry. And again, this is just the portion of the ladies that make this possible for our community and for each and every one of us, day in and day out. But I think it's important that they stand and be recognized as you read the proclamation, because they do a job that I certainly cannot do. I'm not talented enough to juggle 15 different phone lines and 4 different computers, whatever they have. In addition, all the cameras they're watching and everything else. So my hat's off to them each and every day. And again, tonight in 1 week, it's just not enough for what they do for us.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You are well deserved of this. The City of El Centro's proclamation, National Public Safety Communicators Week, April 13th through the 19th, 2025. Whereas the lives of our citizens, the safety of our police officers, firefighter, emergency medical team, and the well-being of the community depends upon the immediate response of our public safety telecommunicators. And whereas the public safety telecommunicators of the City of El Centro are the first and most critical contact our residents have with emergency service. Their prompt response is critical to the protection of lives and preservation and property. And whereas public safety telecommunicators provide an excel service by receiving emergency calls, gathering critical information, and ensuring timely deployment of the appropriate emergency personnel to danger and protecting lives. Whereas the City of El Centro wishes to express its profound appreciation for the dedication, skills, and hard work displayed by the public safety telecommunicators. Professionalism keep the city, they keep the City of El Centro residents safe. Now, therefore, I, Sonia Carter, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim April 13th through the 19th, 2025, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of El Centro.
Yeah.
please join us for a picture? Emilio, are you back there? Thank you. Here you go, ladies. Congratulations. Thank you.
And thank you. All right. All right, here we go. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we will do our next proclamation, and that's for National Library Week, for National Libraries Workers' Day, April the 8th, 2025. And we will ask our director, Carla Mason, if she would come up and say a couple of words, please.
Hi, thank you for the recognition. It really means a lot to us, all the support from the city. I do have some of my coworkers with me that I would like for them to come up as well. Don't be shy.
They're being bashful.
They're the ones that do all the crafts and everything for all the programs that you see.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
They're just, they do what I can't do. I'm not crafty at all.
Creative force.
And so we have Pedro, Enriqueta.
Enriqueta.
Probably might not have heard me say Enriqueta.
Yay.
Yes.
Melissa. And Sandra. And we have some other people who are running the library. So, we really appreciate all the support that we get from the city, from everybody that's sitting here that comes to our programs. And also, I wanted to say thank you to the police department and the fire department because they constantly support us in all of our programs. And they will be back again for our summer reading program, which starts in 10 weeks. It's called the Shameless Plug, I think. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, thank you. We appreciate that. If you would stand there while I say the proclamation, and then after that, we would get a picture with you, please. Whereas National Library Workers' Day was founded by the American Library Association, celebrates librarians and library support staff that offers personal service and access to the wealth of resource and programs. And whereas library workers are devoted public servants who dedicate their career to supporting the needs of the community by making knowledge, resource, and service accountable to all individuals, regardless of their background or circumstances, and prompt literacy, technology access, and civic engagements. And whereas library workers at the El Centro Library tirelessly serve our community, enriching lives and fostering lifelong learning through their experience and commitment. Their passion and diligence contributes to educational advancement, economic development, social connections, and whereas the city of El Centro celebrates the hard work and the exceptional service of the El Centro Library staff, and encourage all community members to visit their local libraries and explore all the librarians have to offer. Now, therefore, I, Sonia Carter, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim April 8th, 2025 as National Library Workers' Day in the City of El Centro.
Yes.
Join us, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you all.
right, very good. Okay, here we go. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Okay, moving right along to the Autism Acceptance Month. It's April 2025. And is Miguel Mesa and Cynthia Medina here? If you could come up and say a couple of words, please. Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. All. First of all, I just want to excuse Miss Gloria Brambila. She could not make it today, but she did wanted to thank all of you for the proclamation. And she is actually right now in City of Raleigh receiving another proclamation for autism. So Mr. Mesa and myself are here representing
Oh,
the
thank you for
autism
coming.
community. So if I may, I would just like to direct some words for you guys.
Sure, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored to stand before you today as an autism mom, a proud member of this incredible community, and a grateful beneficiary of the incredible services provided by our local agencies. I want to sincerely thank the City of El Centro for this meaningful autism proclamation. This proclamation is more than just words. It is a powerful statement of inclusion, awareness, and support for individuals and families like mine. It reaffirms our community's commitment to ensuring that those with autism have access to the resources, opportunities, and understanding that they need to thrive. To the dedicated organizations, service providers, and advocates who work tirelessly to support individuals with autism, thank you for making a difference in our lives every single day. Your compassion and commitment are truly life-changing. On behalf of my family and all autism families in our community, I express my heartfelt appreciation to the City of El Centro for recognizing and supporting our journey. Together, we continue to build a more inclusive and understanding future. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Miguel. I'm with autism advocate, I guess, supported the community for over 20 years. Probably to say that, it's nice to see so many communities, especially around the city of El Centro now, having resources fairs, a lot of cities, supporting, this good cause, right? And it's a really beautiful thing that we got going on. We see more ABA providers now in the county. We see more nonprofits supporting, like the Autism Support, Best Step Forward, Challengers League. There's a lot of inclusive. I've seen the Lexical Recreation of the city of El Centro as well. So it's really nice to see that. For me, as an ABA provider as well, going to homes, assessing, more than 200 or 300 kids along these years, it's been a difficult journey seeing, inclusion. And it's nice to see that these last 5 years, there's been a tremendous growth. So on behalf of everybody, especially all the ABA providers and families and, parents like yourself over here supporting the good cause, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would please just stand there until I finish reading the proclamation, then we'll have you come up and take a picture with us. The City of El Centro's proclamation, Autism Acceptance Month, April 2025. World Autism Acceptance Month, April 2nd, 2025. Whereas autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is reality that affects millions of families every day, and more children than you ever are being diagnosed, with resulting in rates as high as 36 children nationally. Wow. Whereas children and adults with autism are our family members, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. Each individual with autism carries a unique diagnosis across the spectrum. Wow. Whereas individuals with autism, families, professional, and community members are supported through connections with others and the sharing of resources. Families and individuals are strengthened through support. Whereas in April, we recognize those with autism achieving and breaking down barriers, we can reconnect in helping those of autism spectrum reach their full potential. Whereas the mayor pro tem and council members celebrate the work and advocates educators, professionalism, and family members. Autism Acceptance Month and World Autism Acceptance Day promotes a better understanding of autism and advocates for the rights of individuals for the life full of meaningful lives. Now, therefore, I, Sonia Carter, Mayor Pro Tem of City of El Centro, State of California, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Autism Acceptance Month and April the 2nd, 2025 as World Autism Acceptance Day in the City of El Centro.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, we also have a video to show. We can
Okay.
show it after.
Oh, you show it after the picture? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go. And thank you.
Okay, now we will show a video.
Good evening, council members. My name is James Gonzalez, and I'm with Autism Support of Carroll County. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for the proclamation. I wish I could be there in person, but today we're celebrating at Petco with the Padres as they have their Autism Acceptance Game tonight. So again, thank you very much. I do want to say a few things about what we've got going on with Autism Support of Carroll County and all the things that we're going to help to benefit the community members throughout the county. First of all, we have George and Audrey, our mobile units. They're fondly named after our founders, George and Audrey McFadden. We're going to be using the mobile unit throughout the county to diagnose individuals with autism. How we're going to do that is by training 20 local professionals that have already signed up for what's called ADOS training. This training will specifically be designed for them to be able to evaluate those with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. This will be something that we do throughout the county with community partners, including yourselves. If there's an opportunity that you could see where we could place this mobile unit on any property that the city has in order to be able to facilitate services for these family members, that would be great, because right now we do have a huge backlog in appointments. Right now, once you get an appointment through San Diego Regional Center for an autism diagnosis, your wait is on average 6 months. That's when you actually get your appointment. The wait is even longer because you're on a waiting list before you even get an appointment, which could be up as much as a year. What we're trying to do is help shorten that time with our mobile diagnosis unit, and your help would be substantial in regards to our community partnership, and we'd greatly appreciate anything you can do for us in that regard. We have several events coming up also. We'd love for you to come and see what we've got going on. The ADOS training is this weekend over at San Diego Regional Center this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got our autism walk with the horses and with our lovely Brawley Police Department, and we got our autism fair on April 12th at Eagle Park in Imperial. We'd love for our community members to come out and attend these events. This is great for the community, and we feel that it's a step forward for our community as we work to provide services for these individuals who are in most need. Again, I want to thank you for your time. There's so many other things we could speak about, but I know that our time is limited, and I greatly appreciate your time in having a proclamation for all our individuals on the spectrum and those that support them, like parents like myself. Again, we're here for all the parents. You can find us. We have an easy website to remember, which is asic.org. asic.love. That's asic.love. Thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate all the work you're doing.
Very nice. Very, very nice. I will definitely thank him for that video. How nice. They're at the game, huh? Being recognized. Now, we will move
you.
on, yes, to our consent agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve this consent agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to pull number 7.
Okay, if I can have a motion for items 4, 5, and 6, and a second.
I will motion to approve items 4, 5, and 6.
I'll second.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. And for the consent agenda for number 7, the Community Development Block Grant. Is there something you have questions or
Yeah,
concerns?
I just wanted to say, talk about the recommendation, which was the doors and the flooring for the community center. I was wondering if there was, I know that right now, as we see that summer's coming and so forth, and I know last time we had talked about some of our benches and our best benches. And we're looking to see, my question is, would it be possible to do one bench and the doors and maybe look to see if there's somewhere else that we could do Measure P for floors?
Yes, I have a presentation that I can share with you regarding the rationale that was used as it relates to the funding that was identified. So just a little bit of background, you may recall at the February 18th meeting, we discussed the various projects that this could be allocated towards. After that meeting, we went back, we're obtaining some technical assistance with a consultant, and we identified that we had, out of all of the projects, there was a little bit of funding that was left over for many of them, and so it built up to about $68,000. And when we had discussed the various projects, we discussed the Eddie White complex, and that's where the majority of the funding went to. The other 2 projects that we had discussed were community center improvements, room A and B specifically, and then we also discussed the bus shelters. The cost of each bus shelter was identified at about $40,000. There is a threshold depending on how many amenities you need, the size, et cetera, but on average, it was about $40,000. And so because of that, I want to just explain some of the rationale as to why I had considered the doors over other projects. So we have a ADA transition plan. And so one of the findings from the transition plan was regarding our doors. And so the opening door force, there's 3 of these. And I want to thank Councilmember Ellett, who went to see them today. So thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate
Thank you
your
for
walking
taking
with you.
time to show us.
Yes, and the force is greater than 17 pounds. And, this is just a little brief video that I had previously presented, and I'm sorry if the audio is too loud, but I just wanted to show you an example. So you can see in this little glimpse of the people who use the facility. This is one class of many classes that we have throughout the day. So facility usage, on average, weekly, about 350 individuals use that facility. In addition to that, we lease out to the Riverside County Office of Education. We have a daycare in the back. The city leases that facility. And so they use that for a lot of their activities. So we have their families and then the children that use the daycare. In addition to that, we have a lot of our adult center festivities, Stepping Stones festivities, which are all programs that we host out of that complex. And then we have just other rentals that we have throughout the years, baby showers, birthdays,
other ones, celebrations of life. We've used the facility as an emergency shelter. It's also a voter precinct. And so we thought that that's why we thought that this was very prudent, because the doors as you walk in are very heavy, especially during heavy wind events such as today. It is many people come in on walkers. And so that's why we prioritize that need over others like the bus shelters, because we could buy maybe 1.5 bus shelters with the cost, whereas we identified about 68,000 could help us alleviate some of the pressure of the doors, because there's the ones in the front, and then we also have the ones that front the parking lot. And another issue that we have is that with the wind, the doors are really old, and so it triggers a lot of the alarms at night. And so then PD goes out for call outs for false alarm. And so I know a lot of these are generally operational, but I thought I would share them so you could see kind of the frame of thought. And in the staff report, I didn't include all these details because I thought that ADA transition was also, kind of a, in my mind, I thought it was a high priority for us. And so that's my rationale, but council may discuss alternative options. This was how I foresee it based on the plans that we have and the community priorities I've heard from the users, the residents, and other council members. But I'm here for any questions.
No, thank you. That helps me a lot to understand. I know one of the things that we've been talking about too is the ADA for the bus shelters, because we do have people in wheelchairs outside. I know that that's being, I think Daniel stated that there were some movements being done. So I just wanted to be able to look to see what it was behind and what was behind this. And you gave a good presentation. So.
And thank you. And I will make sure
understand
that I incorporate, this many details so that you can see our thought process as we process these projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we
I
need a
don't think
motion.
there's anyone in the room that's like against the modernization of these doors to be electrically opened. I don't think that's a problem. But my concern is what Councilmember Camarena brought up as priorities, that unless some crazy, weather happens, we're headed for another very hot summer in just a couple of months. And our bus shelters, many of them have no cover, no shade. So if it's 105 in the shade, it's about 165 in the sun. And it's really difficult to deal with that for people waiting, that sort of thing. So my concern is priorities. This is a great, I don't mind using these grant monies for this, but I'm more concerned about, and I don't think there's any like big hurry, another 3 weeks and the wind is going to die down. It won't be so hard to open.
For us, it's not just the wind, it's many of them come in walkers.
Yes,
And
okay.
so the
Yes.
inability for individuals,
Right.
many of them also come in wheelchairs. And so that is the struggle, that when you're in a wheelchair, the doors
Yes,
don't
right.
automatically. And the usage, I think it's really important to recognize the number of patrons at the facility, not just daily users, but also the fact that it's used for so many rentals. And we do collect from the rentals, not all of them. A lot of them are nonprofit sponsorships. But I think that that's where that prioritization came about. I understand that bus shelters, there is a need as well, but how, in terms of usage, how much is each bus shelter used in comparison to a facility that is daily carrying out activities with high usage, most of which are people who are older than 55.
I don't think anybody's going to be, pardon me, I don't think anyone's going to be, again, opposing that at all. It's just a matter of, my mind, priorities and timing, that the summer's coming really soon. And I feel like that's important.
Yes, I do want to establish that we work
It's a
with
safety issue.
Yes, we work with the public health department annually on establishing cool centers. In the past, we have established numerous of our facilities as school centers. The library, the adult center have been, most recently, we did the transfer station. We turned on the misters, and that was identified as a cool centers. We also ensure to communicate what we call hydration stations to different areas throughout all of our public facilities that have areas where you can refill your water bottle, refresh yourself,
Yes.
give yourself a break. And so we
great.
do work on that as a
Yes.
region, not just as a city, but as a region, to ensure that people, especially our unhoused, have means of using restrooms, cooling off, and
Yes.
having locations where they can go.
including the center. Is the center there also like a community
Not
center?
recently the community center, because we do use that so
Okay.
much on a
Alright.
daily basis, but we have used the adult center, which is the facility at 385 South
Right,
First
right,
Street.
right.
Yeah.
That is all good. I'm still just concerned about the bus benches that have no shade at all.
Yes, and
And
Abraham can speak
it's
on that matter.
extremely, I just feel like that's a safety issue for us also, as a priority. That's all I'm saying.
Adriana, and the doors, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't have the electronic
They don't.
thing, right?
They don't.
Will that be installed with
Yes.
them?
Yeah. Now that's
So right
not,
now it's all manual.
Yes, and it's a lever. And so,
yeah. It is just a matter of functionality, not ADA required by the state.
this is an ADA requirement.
Oh, it is?
Because of the weight of the door, it exceeds
Okay.
the 17-pound
All
threshold.
right. Like I said, I don't think anybody's against that. But it's just a matter of priorities
Yes.
and what we're going to be facing in just a couple of months.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the comments, Abraham Campos, Public Works Director, City Engineer. I do oversee the bus shelters and I work very closely with ICTC in
Mhm.
determining that. ICTC does a needs assessment every so often, a bus needs assessment. I don't recall when the last one was done. I believe might have been about last year. So all of these issues are important for the community to let us know so that we can make appropriate plans. In terms of shelters, we do go through a priority because we have to be financially prudent on where we spend our money, right? And as was mentioned, each shelter, one location is about $40,000 installed. So each bus stop has two routes, east or west or north or south. So each bus stop is two shelters. So it's about 80,000 per location, right? So what we do is we work with ITCC, and based on usage, the highest priorities get one bench or two bench or no bench, because some of them are many times almost like a flag stop, is just very rarely used. And that's why they don't have shelter, because once the shelter goes up, it's one thing is the $80,000 to install it. Now you have to maintain it in perpetuity, which adds into the general fund cost, Measure P, and will reduce funds from others. So we are very prudent on where we place the shelters, where the shade is actually needed, as opposed to just everywhere. It's not good practice, and you won't see it in any city to place bus shelters everywhere and shades everywhere. But we are very conscious on where they're needed and whether it's one and two. That's why you see in the hospital, for example, where it's very needed. There's two, they're shaded, they have light, and we actually have a signal light improvement to will help improve the safety of that location. So we have all these projects going on. We're happy to share with them with you. But again, it's just being financially prudent. I do want to thank Councilmember Camarena for pointing out some improvements that could be done at our bus stops to improve ADA. Since that, we've gone out and moved some of the benches and relocated to better be compliant with ADA requirements on our benches. That's an easy fix that just requires staff time, and we made most of them ADA, and the ones that are still pending we're in the process of ordering the parts. But in terms of shade, there's, as Adriana mentioned, there's local and regional efforts being done to help with the cooling centers. And that's a big communication. I know Mario has been helping us in distributing that message as part of our PIO. So it's a big regional effort that's done in terms of shade. And I do agree that the heat is coming upon us. We got to take advantage of the nice cool weather we had today, because it won't last. But there is processes for that, and we just want to be very careful. If the council, at the end, we serve at the pleasure of the council. Should you want us to look into a different direction, maybe the community hazmat task force would be a good location to get this topic sorted out and give us direction.
So, thank you. Sorry. I think the bus stops at Buckland Park are not on both sides of the street. It's one side of the street on each side of the park only. And then I think that the one at Stark Field is only on one side of the street. I don't believe there's both sides.
There's both sides.
Okay. But the ones at the park, I mean, on Aurora and Ross are only on
Ross, on
one
Aurora,
side.
on Ross, they're on both sides. On Aurora, they
It's just one
might
side.
be on one side.
Yeah. Yeah. And Councilmember Camarena and I were able to speak to David Akira at the ICTC. And of course, they're interested in, trying to help us with that project as well. It's just that my concern is that summer's coming and So we've identified 3 right there, those 2 and the one at Stark that have 0 shade, nothing. I appreciate, what the effort is for the cooling centers and all that's taking place. That's really good. But the shades there at these bus stops don't exist.
Oh, and I'm happy to report, and as ICTC mentioned, we do have an active project and design for the bus shelters on Buckland Park.
Mhm.
So that's where we're working and partnering with other agencies. In this case, ICTC, it's a grant-funded project, will not cost the city a dime. And it will install brand new bus shelters at Buckland Park at both locations. No
Yeah.
cost to the city.
How far out do you think they are?
It's
That would be a year?
I'm gonna say it's government work. So it's probably construction. I'm venturing by this fall, more or less, maybe a little later. But I cannot speak for ICTC. It's their project.
Yes, yes, yes.
Abraham, do you know of any of the suggestions that were brought up at the last meeting as far as style are going to be taken into consideration? I'm being selfish here because I recommended the Serna one, I believe. Do you know if that's?
It's not
That'll
yet
be-
for aesthetic changes to the shelters. I would recommend a decision from the full body and maybe some community input on maybe a survey. There's other ways as opposed to us dictating the style, the color, and all of that,
Right.
because that gets very people have different opinions.
Right.
So maybe a start would be through that community enhancement task force to get some general ideas of what styles and coming up with a plan on how we involve the community to decide this future vision of the design standard for the bus shelter.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm based on Adriana's presentation and information and being familiar with some of the ADA requirements and people with disabilities. I'm gonna agree with the recommendation that she made. So I'll move, if there's no other comments, Mayor Carter.
No, did you say you moved to approve number 7? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Move
moved to approve
it?
number
Yes.
7, and I'll
Okay.
second that,
And you
please.
second, okay. If we can get the vote, please, thank you.
Just for the sake of the minutes that we use approval to recommend the 68,000 amount for the use of the doors at the community center.
Yeah, based on your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Adriana and
Thank you.
Abraham. Appreciate you.
Councilmember Camarena, I need your vote.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, motion passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we're moving right along to new business. The approval of change order 4 to the Rove Engineering related to the Southern Pump Station project, and this will be presented by Mr. Abraham Campos.
All right, good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council Member, Mayor Potem and Council members again here. I come with some good news and a big ask. So
Okay, Mr.
Here we
Billion
go.
Dollar Man.
I know.
It's multi-million.
Speaking of being financially prudent, right? So this is actually a big investment project for the city that I hope will be looked back as a generational project and something that trigger new growth here in the city of Centro. The project is the Southern Pump Station, and as you may recall from prior meetings, it's already in a strategic plan, as well as it provides a benefit of increasing system reliability, expanding capacity, and strengthening the city's appeal for both commercial and residential developments. We already have a development that's in line that's waiting for this project to occur. It also will help mitigate and address some of the odors concerns that we hear about sometimes in the southwest of the city and the northwest. Some background, just to give everybody back on the history here. On May 7th, the council approved the plans and specs. On July 31 of last year, the contract was awarded to Rove Engineering. A note on that July 31 approval, we received the bids for both phase 1A and 1B. The phase 1A, both phases together make the complete project. At the time, we only awarded phase 1A as we were looking at how to do value engineering to reduce the cost down, because together 1A and 1B was too much. It was too expensive, or we felt that we could find some savings. So we awarded 1A at that time. It also made us comply with the requirements for ARPA. We needed to get ARPA awarded, at this contract awarded to meet our ARPA requirements. We did advise at that time the council that we were going to be going and looking at value engineering and see what we can do to make that one be a reality so we can get the project completed. We came back on January 21, 2025 after the contractor stated they needed direction, and we found some initial value engineering items that the contractor was ready to implement and needed to implement. Otherwise, it would have cost or raised the price on the project because of logistical coordinations. So that's when change order number 3 was approved to revise the budget a little and do some value engineering. So tonight is the completion of that value engineering effort. So back to the history of this green area is the service area generally for this project. So included in the service area is the Willow Bend subdivision, which just went through your consent agenda as approved annexation. So this Willow Bend that does need this project to move forward to be able to connect to sewer. There's the Gailey subdivision as well that the developer has been reaching out to us and trying to get more homes in that area. And also Manville commercial. So there's a potential commercial coming into that area. So what we're here tonight is to add this green piece of the sewer line, which, as you can see, it terminates in the Willow Bend, so Willow Bend can connect to it, and the sewer can get out and its merry way to the city wastewater treatment plant. It also will accept the sewer flow of this existing subdivision. It'll be rerouted to this point, which will eventually go around the city to the wastewater treatment plant. That's what we're discussing today. Is this 18-inch deep sewer that runs along Beverly. So just some of the existing work, you might have seen that Dannenberg is closed, or at least felt the impacts of not being able to drive it. So if you were there, you might have seen some large equipment going up. And basically, it's a big drill, goes down about 20, 30 feet down the ground, installs dewatering wells so that we can get the water out of the ground so we can actually do trenching and do work and lay some new pipe. Those are some of the operations going on right now. The contractor is ready to go. Should this be approved tonight, to continue going down Beverly. So in terms of value engineering, we already discussed, some of the efforts, just to summarize, is one, on the pump station, we reduced the pump station structure, the building, to the bare minimum of what we needed to make it operational. We changed the block wall that was surrounding the site, which was very costly, to more of a chain link or other state or a wrought iron fencing that was produce some savings. We eliminating a local serving sewer on Beverly Lane, and we relocated some of the we eliminated some scope along Dannenberg that extended between the railroad and Dogwood. So that's what produced the majority of those savings. So just to give you an idea of the savings, phase 1 and 1B together, when we first came to council back in July, if we would have awarded both together at that time, it would have been 16,373,000. And now the revised phase 1A and 1B is 15,025. So we were able to shave 1.4 million out of the project while still getting a project that's complete in operation. Right now, the other factors is time of the essence. We have some major tariffs being announced tomorrow by the federal government. Our contractors and our vendors are getting nervous. There's products on imports and exports, like pipe production. The pipes themselves we manufacture in the USA. That's fine, but the resin that is used to build those pipes comes from out of the US. So obviously the material costs will go up. A lot of the materials that we use will go up. So construction costs, spoiler alert, will go up. So if we are able to get projects locked in, the sooner the better. Same reason why people are going buying cars ahead of potential tariffs, right? So we're trying to be proactive here, get a project awarded before the price continues to go up. So here on the previously approved budget, this is just a summary. ARPA did help out the community here by allocating $5 million. So that's lesser impact or reduced impact on the wastewater working capital. It's still a big ask on the wastewater working capital. However, we've been building over the years to make this possible today. It's not a project that hasn't been thought of before for years. This project has been in the books for almost 20 years. So it is time to get it delivered, and the funding is there to do it. So with that, we've added the change order or the revised project budget now. What we're asking, instead of the 12,394,000, the revised budget projected estimate is 15,725,000. That includes change order 4 to add the Beverly Lane deep sewer that I just discussed, as well as assigning 100,000 in contingency. Just for history, the typical contingency for a project is around 10%. We're trying to be extremely critical and prudent on this one, and basically because of the large dollar on this one, every major change order or amount I'll be coming back to council on this project. Normally, $15 million contract, we would have gotten 1.5 million at staff level and city management to go with unknowns. Once you start digging, you never know what you're going to find under there, right? And that's extra cost. But we're starting with this very small contingency just to get moving, and as we move forward, we will come back if anything be needed. Hopefully not. Our plans are pretty tight, but we never know once we start digging. We revised the ARPA. You notice a typo there, that is the ARPA on top says 5,205,000 and below says 5,255,000. That's a typo that I did. On the previous presentation, I'm correcting it in this presentation to the correct amount. As I stated, the council has previously approved a working capital of 7,515,627. We're asking tonight to add another 2,954,417.4. We have checked with finance. I've checked with both Liz, Miguel, and Andy on this. We have looked at our projections, our beginning fund balance, our ending fund balance, and our upcoming projects over the next 3 to 5 years. And this is a project that can be supported by the fund. So that's we don't award projects in a vacuum. We like to see projects ahead and have a look ahead to see how this will impact future years. So with that, I'm looking for, our staff recommendation is for a motion to approve the budget as presented and authorize change order number 4 to Grove Engineering. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Could you say once again, Abraham, how much actually money you need for this to complete this phase?
2,954,417 and 40 cents.
And you were saying that something about this is already available funds?
Yes, so under the wastewater working capital, which takes into account ratepayers, capacity fees from developers when they come in and do new projects, and just overall enterprise fund for wastewater. Over the years, we have built this fund balance to allow this project and others to move forward.
Specifically for this project?
For this project,
you set money aside.
At Public Works, we have been saving for this project for a long time.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Campos, you had identified some cost savings in a previous slide. Is that also coming from the wastewater?
From
The fund or?
Yeah, so the cost savings are the overall phase 1A and 1B. So there's that 1.3 million. So instead of coming here and asking for 4.3, we're saying.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So it's the difference.
Yes.
Okay.
It's already deducted.
Okay,
It's
so
already
that's what I
deducted,
was wondering. If this was the 2.9, almost 3 that you were asking for minus this, or,
No, it's already
okay,
accounted.
okay.
Otherwise, it would have been 4.3.
Oh, gosh, okay. All right, Mr. Campos, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
All right, may I have a motion and a second to authorize this request
Well, then,
budget?
in that case, I move to approve the amount and the change order requested.
I'll second.
There's a contingency.
And the contingencies, yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank
You know,
you.
and I'm surprised, because you always add contingencies into, the project. So that was like, why didn't we do that?
Trying to save as much as we can.
You just were trying to.
We appreciate
keep
that.
All right.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Campos.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
very
Abraham.
much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, moving on along, we're gonna have a community sponsorship for the Joshua Holmes Foundation. This will be presented by our interim city manager.
Find it here. What's that?
Good evening, Mayor
Good
Pro
evening.
Tem and City Council members. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's really a blessing to our community and to our foundation. My name is Rose Holmes, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Joshua Lavelle Holmes Foundation, which was created in memoriam of my son Joshua Holmes, who lost the battle with a rare cancer 5 years ago. He was a pillar in our community. He went to Sealy School, elementary and junior, then went on to Southwest High School, where that was the beginning of his basketball specialty, along with Alex Hendry, our treasurer, and many others that are online. And from Southwest High School, he went to IVC and also played for them. And when he graduated, he moved to San Diego to attend San Diego State, where he received his 3 degrees in industrial psychology, journalism, and digital marketing. Joshua's priority was definitely academic. He believed in learning, not memorizing. If I can share a short story, while he was going to college, my daughter said, "Mom, talk to your son. He reads every page of his books. He needs to learn how to just go to the important stuff." So I said, "Let me see one of your books." And I can't tell you how thick it was. It was huge. And every page that I turned had sticky notes, color-coded notes. And I said, "Son, you have too many classes to do this. You gotta learn." And he stopped at his tracks and said, "Mom, I don't go to school to memorize. I go to school to learn." Of course, as a mom and dad, some of you can relate. I walked away with my tail between my legs. Felt like the worst mom ever. But that was Joshua. And his second love was basketball. And when we lost him from this cancer that was called desmoplasty, small round cell tumor, it was in his stomach. There were only 40 cases in the whole country. So treatment was not, it was basically, there was no real treatment for it. So everything he did was experimental. But he fought for 3 years, and he left an amazing impact to his childhood friends, our committee members of the Joshua Lavelle 3-on-3 tournament, and his daughter, who actually was the one that created this tournament last year, in hopes to give back to the community for those who are suffering cancer and going through this journey, including their families, because we know too well how that went and how that goes. Her desire was to bring in funds so that we can give it back to the community for resources. Last year, we were able to bless the Cancer Resource Center of the Desert here, unfortunately, who has closed this year, which breaks our hearts because they were such an impact to our community. But we do have other resources, and we have families. And last year, we were able to contribute to them. We brought in $5,000, which, to be honest, none of us anticipated that. My anticipation, I was praying, Lord, just even if it's $2,500, but give us something to give back. And so that was amazing because our community did show up, and it was beautiful, of course, and emotional. And then we were able to help a family who lost their 17-year-old son to a brain cancer. And we helped with their services. He passed away literally a week before our event. So that's what this foundation is about. It's about helping the community, not just with the financial support, but it's really important that our community knows who the resources, where the resources are here. So at this fundraiser that we do, we have resource tables. And that allows anyone that has anything to do with health, medical, that can assist with cancer, resources, to come out so that as people come through, they can see the availability that we have. Of course, we anticipate that to grow in the next couple of years with resources because we need them. And then the other project that we do is we are going to give scholarships to the high schools in the Valley. We're hoping to get to every high school. Depends on what we end up with at the end of the event. But we definitely know we're going to be able to give a couple this year. And of course, we have other projects that we'd like to bring to you in the future. But right now, we do have this 3-on-3 tournament, which includes 4th graders to 12th graders and adults. And I have to tell you, last year we had more adult teams than we had kid teams, which I was shocked. So I think we're going to have an ambulance there. Yeah, they still got it. They got it. I can't do it, but they got it. We are
It's a good
expecting
idea.
an estimate of 60 teams. Last year, we had 41, and everyone that participated said they were coming back this year. So we're anticipating, and we hope that you can come by just to see what the community is doing, that they show up. And I'm so proud to be a part of this community because you guys show up. All of you sitting here, all of you show up. And that's amazing because most communities don't have that. We believe that 3-on-3 Basketball Classic will not only help raise funds for cancer resource centers and families in need, but we will serve as a catalyst to harness love, resilience, and hope for the Imperial Valley and surrounding areas. With the City Council support, we can make this event amazing and truly special, and ensure that it has a meaningful impact for years to come. On behalf of the Joshua Lavelle Holmes Foundation, we want to thank you for your support and for this opportunity. Any questions?
We commend you for your community involvement and giving back and doing fundraisers, involving people like that. That is wonderful, and that's part of being a community. We really thank you for that.
Thank you.
Our heart pours out to you and
Thank
your
you.
family and his friends. I know a lot of people, this is just a community love, so
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
Colleagues, yeah.
I had a question for our city manager.
Sure.
When is this when does this renew?
We're going to be, during the fiscal year, we'll go ahead and renew it again.
June?
Yeah, so, but we do have, so what I wanted to add was just, we do have funds available at this point.
Yes.
And our recommendation to the council, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, would be that, that you consider at least the MVP sponsorship, which is $500.
Yes, yes. That's what I was just getting ready to
Thank you.
ask my colleagues if I can have a motion in a second for $500.
I will motion to approve the sponsorship for 500.
A second.
Thank you.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
we-
much.
Yes, yes. And I will definitely see you at the event. I will stop by. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew. Moving right on along. Community sponsorship for Southwest High School SAPA group. Our SARAPA. This will be presented by our interim city manager.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone here from the Savapa group at this time. So I'll just give you a little background on it. The Southwest Academy of Visual and Performing Arts, SAVAPA, at Southwest High School, strives to provide a comprehensive arts program that fosters creativity. We've pretty much in the past, I believe, have looked at assisting the SAVAPA group. And the recommendation this evening will also be, we do, again, just to confirm, we do have the funding available. a little over $1,500. And so our recommendation will also be to approve the $500 amount as well.
Okay, colleagues, if I can have a motion and a second for the approval.
So I will motion to approve the $500 sponsorship to Savapa.
I'll second. I'll second. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yes. Thank you.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So Madam Mayor Pro Tem, even though there's no one from Savapa here, I kind of attended vicariously because my wife, on the
Dragged
board.
you along? Tell the truth.
No, I didn't. I couldn't make it. I was in another meeting. So she went, she said this Mamma Mia theater that they just put on was professional quality. The singers, the acting, everything was professionally done.
Wow.
It's very impressive that's what the report that I got was.
Thank you. I
As
hear
if
a
you were in
lot of
San
good
Diego, so-
compliments. Yes.
Yes.
A lot of good compliments. They really strive for excellence. Any other comments? No. Okay, legislative actions, informational items. We have 2 of those. Now, at this time, we'll move on to the task force reports. Who would like to start?
I'll start. Since our last regular meeting on the 18th, we attended on the Thursday, the 20th, a local cities, local league of, local SCAG, basically local league of,
Cities.
anyway, local league of cities.
The division.
A divisional, thank
Yes,
you, Sylvia, for that, and a big dinner, and it was very, very well attended, and nice to see everyone. Steve Padilla was there, introduced himself to a lot of folks, including us, and invited us to meet with him. So that was a very, very good thing. We met some other contacts there that were going to turn out to be very, I think, very valuable, very encouraging, very helpful for our city. Then on the 21st, I'm sorry, the next day, we went to training. The Friday after that, there was a 6-hour-long training, yes. So that was, again, something put on for free for us, for the leaders to, and we gained some good insight about just as our hospitals are regionalizing, joining together, that perhaps our cities and our county really involved in that needs to be thinking about the same direction of working together and not fighting each other, but working together to make a better Imperial Valley community work, that works and runs smoother, is more profitable for everyone. So that was a good training as well. Then on the 22nd, on a Saturday, the 22nd was the opening for our 5th seat. And so there's been applications. And so we will be meeting to interview these folks. But we would really ask for, our community's prayers for guidance and that, because it's going to be a very important decision. Then on the 24th, Councilmember Camarena and I, we met with David Aguirre at ICTC, Improved County Transit, and had a very good talk with him, including these shades that he is interested in finding funding for us for that as well. I know that we could use Measure P, but he is interested in finding funding for us as well for these. I just wish it had been started 6 months ago, and able to, or maybe 10 months ago, to be able to be ready for summer. So then the 24th, Councilmember Camarena and I met with Josh Stieber from SiteLogic, talked a lot about energy, what's going to be pretty much forced on us, legislated from Sacramento And 26 is just around the corner. Every vehicle that we replace will have to be replaced with an electric vehicle if it's possible, if at all possible. So if it's a fire truck, it's not going to be possible. But every other vehicle that is possible, that will be replaced. So we're facing mandates. And so we're going to be talking about solar power, charging stations, and all the things that can help us out in helping to make that transition not hurt so much and be able to sustain that. Is making something sustainable for us, our city, to be able to endure that. Then on the coming on April the 1st, that was today, I'm sorry, not coming, this morning, we swore in 4 new employees, one from Public Works, one city code officer, one fire department fireman, and one policeman. The policeman that was sworn in today is from El Centro and had been in, like in other law enforcement, like the CDC. And so we're very, very excited about that. The fireman, this young fireman that we swore in today, was from Huntington Beach. So I asked him, well, why did you, I mean, Huntington Beach is a very, very nice location, very expensive to live there. I said, what you're going to find here is that you're going to be able to live here. You're going to be able to buy a car. You're going to be able to buy a house. You're going to be able to raise a family. So just, you know, plan on staying and getting a family, because that's what you'll find different about our valley. And
So,
Huntington
Mr.
Beach
Ellis,
is a nice
did-
place.
Did you forewarn him about the heat?
Yeah, you know, you left that out, huh?
You left that part out.
I left it out. Yeah,
He's a firefighter.
yeah, he'll find
Knows
out.
all about
The,
it.
the heat don't bother him, huh?
So again, the 16th, about 2 weeks away from now, we will have interviews and be appointing our, not, we'll make it official, but we'll have our interviews for our 5th spot. And then this month, April is being, as we just saw, the presentation for autism. This is Autism Month, Awareness Month. I'm quoting numbers from RFK Jr. I'm not as old as, I'm not as old as he is. So just want to get that clear. But our generation, when we were young, the incidence of autism is about in the 60s, was 1 in 10,000. In the year 2000, the incidence of autism was 1 in 200 across the country. Now across the country in 2023, I believe, it's 1 in 38. And in California right now, it's 1 in 22. So RFK Jr., Children's Health Defense, he's been involved in this fight for a long, long time. His goal, his number one goal, is to answer the question, why? How are we disabling our own children? And so I'm hoping that because of the support that he has and hopefully the access that he can gain, he will be able to uncover, you know, why this is going on. Why are we disabling our own children, our own posterity, and to turn this around? So I'm very, very hopeful that in the next 2 years that maybe we'll get some answers. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Moving on along.
Well, Mr. Elliott, so I have 2 great nephews that were born with autism. So it's not that we're causing it, it's that they're born with that condition. So it's like, and I have to commend my niece because she was really very proactive and noticed that, that they were not developing as children usually
Yes,
do.
right.
So, and commend all of the agencies in the Valley along with James, because there are many resources out here that are available for children with autism or on the spectrum,
Yes.
And so, it has become, they've made they've done a very good job of bringing awareness, to our community and identifying all those resources that are available, for them. So,
Yes.
It's
We're thankful for
it's
that.
a fact
Very
of life.
thankful.
Yes.
So, okay. But can I go next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty. So I too was at the the Cal Cities Division meeting, which was held at the Town Pump. I'd like to thank the sponsors that hosted it there, because we usually get a really good meal. And but you know what? Aside from that, it's the collaboration between all the cities and the oh my gosh, my mind is blank. I can't think of just getting together with all of the elected officials,
Gathering, yes.
that from throughout the Imperial Valley. And so, it's, we have time to share what each city is doing and so on, but also receive updates on what is going on in the legislature, what is going on with ICTC, the projects that they're working on, SCAG, and the projects that they're working on, to advocate for the cities in the Imperial Valley. So, always a very beneficial event for us to attend. Also was at the Ivy elected officials training that was held at our community room in the library, and that is a perfect facility for events such as that. And it was an eye opener. One of the main speakers was the city attorney for the city of Fontana. And so he had quite a few interesting stories and tidbits of information to share, which I keep meaning to ask you, Betsy, about something that we learned there, and I'll bring that up to you. Okay, so then we also had our, because as you know, we wore two different hats, our ECRMC board meeting. Also within the last timeframe, I also had our Community Enhancement Task Force meeting. And let's see, my gosh. And I had the honor of attending the Sun Community Federal Credit Union's grand, I'm going to call it the reopening, because what they did is they modernized the branch. And so, the credit union holds a special place in my heart because I worked there for 15 years. And I was actually working there when we moved into that building. So we got a tour of that building when it was still under construction. And I was working there when the name changed from Government Agencies Federal Credit Union. We changed the charter, and then it became Sun Community, because it went from you had to qualify to be a member of the credit union to we opened our doors to the entire community. And so, that's how that came about. So I was asked to say a few words there. And so it was my honor to have gone, to that event and represent the city at a former employer of mine. So, and then the following evening, a community event, the very supportive of all the Seroptimus International Women's events, and they had their Ruby Awards, which recognized 3 women within our community that have just made strides in the professions and the community work that they do. And so it was a nice way to end Women's History Month. And so that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on along.
For me, it's basically a ditto on most of it. El Centro Regional Medical Center meeting, the ICTC meeting with Marty, the swearing in this morning. And there was, when we had the privilege of going to the Little League grand opening. It's always great to support these little kids and their families, and to see them get so excited because they just know they're going to the pros, and we just clap for them all. They're so cute. And one of the biggest honors also was Saturday attending the Vietnam Veteran Ceremony and celebration, of honor. That just was a beautiful ceremony. My first one, I got a little scared when they actually shot. I didn't know they were going to, and I just jumped. But I know for next year, God willing. And at least I didn't hit the floor. I was that close. And then I had the privilege of attending the Nights of the Arts for Heart at Heart human trafficking group. I didn't stay through the whole thing. I had to leave, but what I did see was a group of people coming together in the community to be able to help victims of human trafficking, because we know that that is something that's growing and what has grown, and we never know what's going on with somebody. So it was a privilege to be able to see that. And the other thing that I'm focusing on, along with Mayor Pro Tem Carter, is the Downtown Ad Hoc Committee. really looking at that, reading, studying things and so forth, to be able to take it from an idea to action together. And so I'm reading a lot so that we can go ahead and do something. I know that there was some social media posts on us being downtown, and we got tremendous input after that, even up to yesterday. And people are so ready for something. And I know that together, especially with the expertise that we have here with department heads and so forth, that we can make something happen, and working in ways that won't impact totally our law enforcement and so forth. So we'll be coming to the table with some ideas and getting your inputs, because what it takes a village, like they say, and it takes the people who have the knowledge, which is all of you. So I look forward to working with you guys on that and bringing in some of the Senate bills that I've been really reading related to some of the things that need to be implemented by next year. So we'll go forward with that. That's all I have, I believe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I echo a lot that my colleagues said, so I won't re-mention, but I will talk about the first pitch at the opening ceremonies for the El Centro Little League baseball team. Wow, I know my place, and it's sitting on the bench cheering for my nephews. And, I'm a go-getter when it goes to supporting family in their field, but it was just an honor to get out there and show that that's not my sport, but I really had a good time. I really, really had a good time, and that's an honor.
Did you reach the plate?
Excuse me?
Did the ball reach?
It reached the plate. Benny told me I would have lost my baseball card. My oldest nephew, that's his sport. So he was like, okay, Auntie, you can't get out there and do, a bad. You have to really come. And I was like, oh, wow. So I did reach the plate. So that's a good thing.
You had to wind up.
Yes. I had to wind up. But then Claudia's son, he tried to show me out, so but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm innocent.
But it was nice. Very good time. And I did get to travel to Burbank for the transportation, the communication and public works conference. It was very, very phenomenal. We advocated back and forth about a lot of different ideas and legislations that we want to put on the ballot for 2026. And it really got heated amongst a lot of them. They were going back and forth. So we did come to a decision for some, but the rest of them we will get to next month to put on the ballot. So it's very interesting. I like the way that different cities from all over come together, and everybody has a different opinion about what they think. And and then they all laughed at us because we don't have a train station. Yeah, I was like, I said, it's okay, because everybody there had a train station. But I told them we're a work in progress. Don't talk about our little Imperial Valley here. And so, one of the guys, because he lives close by in Phoenix, he goes, he said, oh, you have to go back to Yuma to catch the train if you want to go to San Diego or LA. I said, would you please stop, raining on our Imperial Valley? But I told him we do have a really good ICTC here, and I do believe that our future is strong. So I'm looking forward to it. And also attended the Vietnam veteran ceremony, and I'm a vet brat. That's what my sisters and I say. We're vet brats, so that was an honor and just a lot of memories, flashbacks, and I just really, really, really had a good time. I will move on to the mayor's mentions. The day at the ballpark event is the City of El Centro City Manager's Office is selling tickets to the day at the ballpark event. On August 23rd at 5:40 p.m., the game is between the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The tickets are at field section 120. Tickets are $153 each. For more information, you can call 760-337-4540. Also, we will have our Easter extravaganza with the eggs in front. April the 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Buckland Park. We will be giving out more than 11,000 Easter eggs for 1,100, Easter eggs for all the children ages 2 to 14. We will have different zones for different age brackets. Lots of food vendors, more information on our social media account. And we do want to say congratulations and welcome to everybody who was sworn in today to the city of El Centro.
And Mayor Pro Tem Carter, it actually is 11,000 Easter.
It
eggs.
is
Okay,
11,000.
yes, it
Okay,
is.
I did
It
not,
is.
wait,
That
I
event
straightened
has
up
been
my
And
glasses.
the number of eggs has been increasing since I've been on the council, so it is 11,000.
I was right. Okay, I straightened up my
right. Okay,
glasses.
you were not
Thank
seeing
you.
things,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you, Councilmember Marta King, because I really thought I took a double take. I said, wait a minute.
No, it's 11,000.
Thank you. Thank you. And now I yield to our city manager.
I'm always the last, and everybody wants to go home by the time it gets to me. So, it is the world champs, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Excuse me. I know who your team is now.
So I've been to the various meetings that y'all mentioned, so I won't even get into that. We did have an ICTC management meeting and also with the city managers as well. So there's a lot of information sharing on that. I just want to thank the staff again. Thank you guys for, and there's only but 2 people here that are not staff members. So thank you all for the hard work that they do. They actually, we spend a lot of time, and we spend a lot of time in here every other Monday and talking about the upcoming council meetings and the preparation behind everything just to get that information to you. I mean, they do a tremendous job, and you can see they support each other when they come up here, and I really do appreciate that. They do a fantastic job. So once again, thank you to all of you for doing that. Appreciate it. And also thanks to the city attorney for helping us out as well.
Yes. Don't forget to point out that your team won with real bats.
Yeah, we don't use torpedo bats. We don't.
You what?
Torpedo bats. You have to be into baseball.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's not in our, this went over our head, Sylvia.
Big torpedo bats. That's
Yeah, I'm not a sports fanatic.
It's okay. It's okay. We get a pass, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it is 7:28 and this meeting is adjourned.